It's Monday, the 18th of March. Kia ora, good morning.
Morena, this is breakfast. It's 6 o'clock.
There is only one story in our show today, the aftermath of the Christchurch terrorist attack. We will have live updates for you throughout the morning.
We're here in the studio this morning, but let's bring in Jack Tame now, who's anchoring for us from Christchurch. Good morning, Jack.
Kia ora guys, kia ora e te whānau, tēnā koutou katoa. We are here on Rolleston Ave in central Christchurch at this massive wall of tributes that has been established by the residents of this great city over the last couple of days. In many respects, it's like a wall of life. You can actually smell the flowers, so abundant they are here this morning. There are floral tributes, candles that have been burning throughout the night, messages of hope and support. But of course, residents in Christchurch are waking up for the first time facing the prospect of school, facing the prospect of returning to work today. Let's be honest, Mondays kind of suck at the best of times. Today, of course, is going to be especially difficult. Throughout the morning on breakfast, we will be with you live from Christchurch with the very latest updates from the authorities. We will speak with Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern and the Mayor of Christchurch. Ko te parakuihi tēnei, ko onu karakia te wā. Right now it's 6 o'clock and Daniel has our news.
Well, victims of the Christchurch mosque attacks continue being returned to their families today. Police hope the victim identification process will be completed by Wednesday. The death toll from Friday's attack stands at 50. 34 people are still being treated at Christchurch Hospital. 12 are in critical condition, and there's also a 4-year-old girl still critical at Auckland's Starship Hospital. A strong police presence will continue in Christchurch and around the country today as the working week gets underway. Police Commissioner Mike Bush says the public can expect to see many officers on the ground and in the skies.
People in Christchurch and across New Zealand will want to return to their lives. It's the role of the New Zealand Police to ensure people are safe to do so.
Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern will meet with Cabinet today to discuss our gun policy. Ms Ardern announced on Saturday there will be changes to our gun laws, confirming it yesterday. She says Cabinet will begin preliminary policy discussions and also look at the issues around our terror watch list.
I expect that we will have a wide-ranging discussion. There are a couple of specific items that I wish to discuss directly. Gun policy is one of them, but yes, the issue around watch lists and how we can ensure we give assurances to the public that our agencies have the tools they need.
Vigils are continuing to happen across New Zealand as the country mourns the loss of those killed. Thousands turned out to Wellington's Basin Reserve last night to remember the victims. Meanwhile, a 3-hour vigil is planned at Auckland St Matthew's in the city church tonight. It was an emotionally charged evening for the Wellington Phoenix last night in the capital. The Kiwi side huddled with West Sydney players in a moment's silence before kick-off. Wellington striker Roy Krishna had this touching tribute for the victims in the 3-1 victory. Krishna's wife is Muslim. Coach Mark Rudan says the side, like people all over the world, has been deeply affected by the tragedy.
No, we dedicated this performance, the whole football club, all the players, to the victims on Friday. It's not what this country's about, and we wanted to play our part, however small it is, to try and lift the spirits of the nation.
And that's your news.
All right, let's get it, Maddie, with the weather this morning. Maddie, how's it looking?
This is what we're looking like around the country today. It's looking mostly fine around the South Island. Once the morning cloud many of you will be waking up to burns off, there are just a few showers expected around Fiordland and southern Westland. 20 degrees in Dunedin, 23 for Queenstown, 21 the high in Christchurch, 22 further north in Nelson. And in the North Island, things look to start off a bit overcast, but that will clear to a mostly fine day. There's just some possible morning showers out east from Hawke's Bay through to Bay of Plenty, and further north there could be some brief wet weather after lunch. Wellington's on 21 degrees, 22 for those of you in Napier and Tauranga, 24 the high up around Hamilton, Auckland and Whangarei. And that's what we're looking like.
Thank you, Maddie. All right, well, we do have a special show for everyone this morning because we are live from Christchurch, but we're also going to be looking ahead at what this means for your week coming up and how you deal with these things. The Christchurch terrorist attack has ripped apart a community in Christchurch, so how do you put it back together again?
8 minutes past 6, you are back with breakfast. Let's head back to Christchurch and speak with Jack. Jack, good morning.
Kia ora, Daniel. You know, over the last couple of days we have heard harrowing witness reports about the events of Friday. And yesterday I spoke with a man named Farhan Farhiz. Farhan is a Fijian. He's been living in New Zealand for the last 3 years, and he was in the mosque in Linwood on Friday when the shooting began. He hasn't slept much, as you can imagine, since Friday's event. He's been trying to support his community, but now he finds himself with a logistical problem. Farhan says at the moment he doesn't feel safe in Christchurch, but because of his visa status, he doesn't have the opportunity at the moment to move anywhere else in New Zealand without giving up dreams of New Zealand residency. I sat down with Farhan and he started by telling me what he witnessed on Friday.
The first shots, I thought someone was just playing with fireworks, or maybe someone is throwing something on top of the roof, that it may be stones or something.
What did you see when you turned around?
When the shooter, the gunman, he came towards the entrance, that's when he started just shooting people, and that's when I looked back, and the sound of the gun, he was just shooting everyone just brutally, like, and there was blood everywhere. Everyone was just so frightened, and it was just extremely devastating. It was one of those moments where you just like, you just shocked, like, okay, is this happening? Is this real? This person had no humanity. He just shot everyone like they were animals. They were just nothing. They meant nothing.
What did you do?
While we were undercover, I just called the cops. I called the ambulance. This is my fate, you know, like, I accepted it. You know what? This is it for me, you know. I thought this was my moment, and I accepted it. I said my final prayers. It was so loud. It was so brutal. Like, it felt like we were in a battlefield. Like, everyone's just saving their lives, and this gun, like, it just felt like we were in the Middle East or something, you know. It just was that atmosphere. Like,
it must have been terrifying.
It's just so hard for me to concentrate on things, and just like flashbacks keep coming in and out. And I think that, like, even when I go anywhere, like when I drive, I'm just I'm just hyper vigilant that I don't know what's gonna happen when. Like, this was an unexpected attack, and honestly I don't feel safe, like, in Christchurch, to be honest. And yeah,
have you thought about leaving Christchurch?
I have thought about it, but there are certain barriers which actually restrict me.
You're a community support worker, so you help people with mental health problems and addiction problems and that sort of thing. But there are some restrictions for your visa, right? You can't just leave Christchurch. I thought I'll reunite with family in Auckland, but the sad reality is that I am not able to, based upon certain visa conditions. And by this I mean I'm not allowed to work outside of Canterbury. I'm only allowed to work in one particular occupation. I'm only allowed to do a certain type of work, and I'm only allowed to work for a limited period of time. It's through our employers, through our job offer, or like through our employment, we change our status of our immigration status. But I'm afraid now I won't be able to do that. Like, from day one, that was my first target, you know, to make New Zealand my home, get a sense of belonging. And now I just feel that that's kind of like long gone, going away from me. And I'm just shattered. Like, that was my ultimate dream, you know.
Cute.
That is Farhan Farhiz. He witnessed some awful things on Friday at the mosque in Linwood. Fortunately, he tells us he is receiving counselling, and as part of that counselling, he's been able to have some assistance from ACC to get him through the next couple of weeks. Of course, there are expectations on him and people in his situation to send money back to their home countries, and at the moment, he's not sure what the prospects for doing that will be over the next weeks and months. He's hoping that there might be some opportunity to relax some of his visa restrictions so that at the very least he can get support from other family members around Aotearoa.